So could you tell me just a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I run Eric Festival, which
Right.
is a creative careers festival for 16 to 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
So it's about like inspiring and motivating them to get into the creative industries.
Right.
But in a fun way.
Yeah.
So we kind of saw career fairs, you know, the normal kind of stuff that's out there and the resources, and they're just really boring and like.
Yeah.
I just, you know, if they're trying to make people have a career in that industry, why not make it actually exciting and like,
exactly. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I mean, in your opinion, how has the music industry actually changed for like new acts coming into the industry?
I think it's harder, maybe the more traditional way, but I think it's interesting now because there's so much different channels. So like, you know, social media, technology, you can properly get yourself out there.
Exactly.
So I think in a way it's harder but easier.
Yeah. And what motivated you to actually come up with this idea of the Eric Festival with Samantha? Did you just sit down one day and was like, hey, let's just start this
Well,
project?
it was our own experience. So I used to be an accountant and I absolutely hated my job. Like it, you know, I just hated getting up for the job. Like, you know, Sunday nights I'd be like crying because I don't want to go to work. And then one day I was just like, I just can't do this anymore. And Sam she's my best friend. So we've been best friends since we were 7. So she was in another job and she, again, wasn't enjoying what she was doing. And so we decided that we wanted to quit and just, you know, you only live once, so let's just take a risk. So we just decided to, you know, do something that we enjoy. And we enjoy helping other young people. And we don't want them to face the same problem we had, is that falling into a career that you just don't really enjoy.
I understand what you're saying.
So we just decided to come up with something that you don't necessarily come here and get a job. Like that's not what it's about. It's about coming here and finding out about all the different jobs in the creative industry and just get inspired to kind of think about your own career.
That's really, really interesting. I mean, I saw a lot of different companies out there trying to promote, and I think that's really good, especially with young people coming in. They can sort of see that and be like, oh, that might actually interest me.
No, exactly. And you know, we only handpick like what we think are the most relevant and upcoming companies, so they're actually cool and like, you know, really amazing to work with them.
That's really good. I mean, you know, in your opinion as well, I mean, there's been so many different changes in the music industry. So what are your views on the changing format from analog to digital? Do you think it's actually beat down artists in a negative way? Because I mean, the media industry has been saying that, you know, digital technology and the technology itself has destroyed, you know, the original analog sort of formats. So what are your opinions on that?
No, I do think digital is great, and I think it's great for like our generation and the generation to come, because it just gives them a platform to really, you know, promote themselves. And I think there are so many artists upcoming now which are in niche genres that may not necessarily have made it a few years ago. You know, like Stormzy, he's like really bringing back like grime and stuff, and I think that's amazing that you know, you basically, artists can now do what they love, and that hopefully there will be like followers who will love that too, and so they can build a name through that.
I agree with you. I mean, do you think there's other sort of ways artists can market themselves a bit more nowadays?
I think honestly it's networking, and it's 100% networking, and it's not necessarily who you know, because you know, it's not about like nepotism and stuff like that. It's about you as a person putting yourself out there. Like you can't just sit there and like, you know, oh, who do I know on my phone? And you have to actively go out. You have to, there's so many free events. There's so many you know, just places you can go and meet someone that I think it's just down to yourself and your
I totally
confidence.
agree with you. I mean, so you would say there is a niche in the market for networking events for young people?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think 100% there's a niche for it, but I just don't think people know how to do it. I think people, when they hear networking, it's a bit daunting. And like just standing in a room full of people isn't anyone's, you know, idea of fun. But if you kind of change it a bit, maybe not call it networking or call it something else,
like a festival.
Exactly, like a festival. And basically just get people talking to other people, then that's it. That's the whole idea of it. It's not networking as such, but it's just about finding out what other people do and building connections.